Dear friends, today, June the 23rd, is an important day in the Olympic history. It is on this day, in 1894, the father of modern Olympic Games, Pere de Coubertin, founded International Olympic Committee at a meeting in Paris to recreate the modern Olympic Games. Sports world celebrates this day as the International Olympic Day. We have also gathered here, but not only to celebrate this historic day, but also to do something more. Ancient Olympic Games, conducted between Greek city-states over 1,000 years, from 776 BC to 398 AD, were broadly based on philosophy of unity of body and mind. You all know the games were stopped in 393 AD, and after the lapse of 1500 years, there was a serious attempt to recreate the Olympic Games. Though several prominent Europeans have tried to revive the Olympic Games since Renaissance in the Middle Ages, it is this young French enthusiast who succeeded in reviving Olympic Games in 1896 by organizing first Olympic Games, modern Olympic Games at Athens, and became the president of International Olympic Committee. Pere de Coubertin not only revived the Olympic Games, but also laid the foundation for the sport in modern society as we do today. Before this movement, sport was not a great culture even in Europe, after ancient times. His vision, Pere de Coubertin's vision of sport, briefly is a football team in every parish, a gymnasium and a playing field with shower facilities in every village, a swimming pool in every town, and mind you, and says, no politics, no camps, no leaders from the outside sporting world. Mind you, no politics, no camps, no leaders from the outside sporting world. That was his vision of the founding father of modern Olympic Games. And what do we see today now? In India particularly, it is all politics and camps. And many sporting events are just commercial ventures which are run by essentially leaders from outside the sporting world. Sportsmen and women like us have become mere helpless bystanders, holding press conferences like this. Why sportsmen have become bystanders in the Indian sports scenario? What is stopping them to come forward to manage the sports clubs and associations? I think personally, the main reason is that these sports federations have harassed the sportspersons so much during their playing days with their mismanagement, nepotism, corruption in selection, training, and competitions. The sportsmen they leave the sporting scenario as soon as they hung their boots of serious competition, like many of us have done. This situation of sportsmen leaving the sporting scenario has left the gap. There is no credible challenge for these politicians to get to the sports federation election time and again. What do we still keep quiet, or do we do something about it? It is time we wake up. As Coubertin said, CFR, speak frankly, act firmly. CFR, we see that there is no light at the end of the tunnel for the Indian sports. Speak frankly to say that there is a whole lot of mess in the sporting scenario in India. And hence, we act firmly to try to clean up the mess in which Indian sports are languishing. With this background, we launch here today a civil society movement across the country to clean up the mess in Indian sports. We call this movement Clean Sports India. Our objectives are twofold: to create an environment wherein sports federations, associations, clubs are managed essentially by former sportspersons. This is what our aim is. We strive to create an environment in future where the sports federations, clubs, associations will be managed by the sports persons. Second, to create an atmosphere in which sports are practiced and competed without the use of drugs. How do we do it? First, we will educate the masses to unfold the mystery of how these politicians and other non-sports persons occupy the positions of power in sports bodies, in holding seminars, discussions, sports runs throughout the country. We want to generate public opinion, and we need the help of media. Second, once we made gains in the creation of favorable public opinion, we will start building the capacities and confidence of the former sports persons through various programs of capacity building. This is by no means an easy task. We know our adversaries are powerful. They are mainly politicians in every political party of India. But thankfully, all politicians are not in this game of using the sports for the political gains. Mind you, not all politicians are in the same game. There are a handful of them in each party. They themselves is one party actually, whether they are in Congress or BJP or any other party. And there are many businessmen who want to promote the sport genuinely. It's not only businessmen who are connected with the sport and making a sport as their venture. There are many, and they don't come forward because there is a mess there. We hope all these powerful people in political and business life, they see our point of view. And we seek the support of these powerful people so that their help they'll help us to build a new system in the country. What will be our adversaries' reaction? That must be your question today. You all must be wondering, these are all fools. What is this? What are they talking about here? You may be wondering how they will react. It is in this context, I recall a saying from Gandhiji, who said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. If they ignore us, it's good for us. We will have time to organize ourselves. If they laugh at us, we don't mind. If they fight us, sure we will win. Thank you.